The cost in which not so much as the cost, but the price in which the home sold for. I think on average you're looking at about 800 plus thousand on average. If you was to average them all out, on the high end you're looking at about 1.4 million in resale value. So it was basically that, like Jerome say, that little niche, of an area that you're looking for.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Excellent. Excellent. And then what size house are you building?
3,000 under air is 3,224 square foot, and total square footage is like 4,107 or something like that.
Excellent. And then your build costs have you figured out your build costs yet?
The build cost based on my underwriting comes out to be, I did it on the high end, so it's at $180 per square foot. So that's what I'm looking at right now.
Okay, that's not bad. And then you're using a GC, and how much is that GC fee?
So right now I narrowed it down to 2 GCs. So one of them price range is 190 per square foot, so it's right there close to my underwriting. Mm-hmm. So I know I'll be able to bring him down. And the other one is in that range of 165 to 185, so it's right there in my price point. So your total cost of square foot, you're including the land with that, or that's separate? Yes.
Okay, with the GC, with your land, everything.
With the land,
okay,
yes.
Excellent. And then what kind of build are you doing? Are you doing like a medium end or like high end finishes? Or
I would say premium. Very, very, not very high end, but I would say premium to the point where you're right there at high end, to where the house resale value is able to hit that 1.2 to 1.290, somewhere in there. Push the threshold to get it to close to 1.3. So it's just to push the envelope, not to be, the head honcho in the neighborhood, but just to push it. So, yeah.
And there's a lot of houses already selling. I know Wedgeville is a pretty large
yes, it is.
Community, so you got houses selling already for that.
Yes. In the past, just last year, based on my research, you had over 50-some houses that sold just in that area.
Beautiful.
So, yes.
And then what about the wetlands and the flood zones?
You have plenty of wetlands out there. However, if you do enough research, you realize a lot of the wetland is not as bad as what the map may show you, or what a realtor may tell you. If you really do your own due diligence, your own research, you'll actually see the wetland may be towards the back or is at the front. So if any mitigation you got to do, it's going to be very minimal or none at all.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Did you have to put any extra dirt on your property?
No, I haven't. Based on what I see, no mitigation needed for the one that I see. So, yeah.
Excellent. That's good to know.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm. However, there are ones where it's pretty much like 100% wetland, and it's like it's far gone. But
you want to stay away from that.
Yeah, stay away from those. But I do have, as I was mentioning to one of our members, is the fact that you have some of them where it's no wetland. You have some where it's a little over half the land is wetland, but it's very high and it's flat and dry, but it's very good over there. Yeah. Very good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And then what did you underwrite for your profit?
So on the low end, if the house sell, even if it sell below what the most recent house sold, is again, it sold for 1.215 million. Even on the low end, if the one that I'm designing and putting together, if it sell for 1.2 million, I'm still looking to make 380,000. So that's just on the low end.
Excellent.
And one of the things I do with my underwriting, because I come from my IT career fields and dealing with the banking financial system, I did a downward stress test on my underwriting. In other words, I did an overrun on it. Let's say if my overrun was like an extra 80,000, or let's say it stayed on the market for another 4 months or something like that. So I did a downward stress on it. If I had to, some extra cost came in, and it's still on the low end, I was able to get a profit of 156,000.
Which is beautiful.
So, yeah.
Ideal. And you have a unique way of bringing down your architectural costs.
Yes.
Share that.
So what I learned is, based on the state of Florida, in order to have your drawings are approved by the city or the county, it has to be architecturally stamped. However, if you are a drafter, you don't have to have architectural stamp approved by the city. You can have it drafted up by a drafter, somebody who's very good at drawing and architect or whatever the case may be, and then they can take your drawing and you can hand it to an architect who you feel comfortable with, and that can knock your price down significantly.
Excellent.
And it's all based on the total square foot. Once they get the actual total square foot, they can knock it down tremendously. So yes.
And what software did you use?
So initially, I start out with my hands. I draw because I'm very good and skilled at drawing. Once I get my 2D plan figured out, I'll put into either a software called FreeCAD I put inside this AI software called Render, where I can bring that 2D drawing to a 3D drawing, and you can actually interact with it. And you can make quick changes to where I don't have to now draw anymore. I can just tell the AI what to do, and it does it.
So Render was mentioned on one of our calls before. Can the average person like myself that don't have any drawing experience, can they use that with no problem?
Yeah, you can halfway know how to draw. If you just draw a few little boxes and put in there what that box is, and you can halfway do it, upload into Render, and then tell it what to do by command, by type or whatever, and it'll do it.
Excellent.
And then you just tell it, carve out, select small little spots, and tell it, hey, change this area to a window, and it'll change to a window.
Excellent.
So yeah.